Hey everyone, it's Darren. It's everyone's favorite hillbilly in the trailer hood. So today, I wanted to shoot a quick little video on things to look for when you are out potentially buying a old mobile home. Or in this particular case, this one was given away, so this one is one where the guy simply wants it off his property, and if we can get it, it's ours. And that's the way it works. Well, so you may look at this and you're like, holy hillbilly, what is this guy gotten himself into now? Look at all the crud on the siding. All that stuff will pressure wash off. So there's a few things I wanted to show you here before we got too carried away with this. All right, come out and take a look at them. The very first things you want to do is come take a look at them and just look down the siding. And if you look, it's kind of hard to see on video, but if you look, this one kind of goes with it off. What that means is the axles are right back there underneath that window, and then there's also a couple right there. This is actually a split axle configuration, 2 in the back and 2 back here, 3 up here. And so what this is telling you is that the tail end is heavy. These things, when they come out of the factory, this is a 1990, so when they come out of the factory, you can see right here, it's got its factory OSB for sheathing, so it came like that, and this thing is largely stock, except for, we noticed the metal roof when it came out here. Initially, we rolled up here and said, oh, hey, that's cool. We got a brand spanking new roof. Well, it's a few years old, but we got a new roof. And, thing to look for, I got to looking around out here in the middle of the frickin' cornfield. There ain't a frickin' soul around here for a couple of miles, except for me and the old Ford. Come down here. Where'd I see it? Right here. So you can see what they did. These boogers, when they put that brand spanking new roof on, you come over here and look underneath the edge, and it might show up, but right, where's my stupid finger? Oh, whatever. There we go. So so you got the edge of the roof, you got the drip edge, which is the white, you got a dark brown piece of metal right there, and then you can see some light brown. Well, to the naked eye, it's pretty easy to see, but that's actually wood. So what that means is these boogers went up there. They had an old shingle roof, and then I was looking along here, and you can even see pieces of shingle. And after you know how these things are made, there we go. Does that help? Hey, look at that! By Jove, the hillbilly brought a flashlight and a camera. So you can see there's a brand new metal roof, brand new drip edge. They went right over the frickin' roof. They didn't bother to tear off the old roof because there's old pieces of shingle, old pieces of crap that are hanging out, and the old factory drip edge and the factory fascia right there. So that answers the question. Let me zoom back in. Out, there we go. That answers the question. We're over here on the driver's side. Why does this thing go all the way down and then slope? Why does the tail end seem to sag? Well, now we have a really good idea. That metal is heavy. Underneath the metal, I know each individual piece of metal is not terribly heavy. Underneath the metal, they put plywood. And that's on top of the factory shingled roof, the asphalt shingles. There's probably an additional 4,000, maybe even 5,000 pounds sitting up there on the roof that didn't come from the factory. Now you look all the way down here at the very tail end of it, and you can see there's the old Ford. Everybody say hi. You can see right down here at the tail end, we've got axles There are 3 axles that are centered right underneath that. That's the kitchen window. And then right here is the master bedroom. There's 2 additional axles right there. So we need 1 more axle back there. And we're going to add 1 more axle up there at the front. So we got 5. We're going to add 2. So we'll make this a 7-axle house. Because of how spread out these things are, this thing's going to turn like a freaking aircraft carrier. It takes some maneuvering to get this thing around. Now, we had a brand new door. Go inside. Give a tour of the how they deterred. You can see we've had some water coming in. Not a lot. And then, oh, I forgot to show you underneath. So one of the things that they did underneath is that one time, it's common out here in the farm. Remember, this is the 1990. We're out in the freaking boonies, middle of nowhere, Iowa. I mean, there's probably people live a couple of miles that way. I'm sure there's somebody around here. It's common that you get animals, critters, and everything else up underneath these things. And what these blessed children of God did is they took out the vapor barrier, they took out the underbelly, took out all the insulation, they spray foamed it. A lot of times you see people say, oh, I want to use spray foam, oh, it's a great idea and everything. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Actually, no. It is not a great idea. The reason it's not a great idea, at least in this part of the country, might be different in other parts of the country, but at least not here in the Midwest. You trap moisture in there. And that's where, looking at this, initially I thought we had some roof leaks. Like massive roof leaking. We don't. I mean, right there, obviously, that's a little bit of, I don't know if that's surface mold because of condensation from the wood stove that some knucklehead added. Like right here, you can see a little bit of mold here. Yeah, we did have some water. We've got water coming, around the window frame. That's true. But these old mobile homes, this is a 1990, are made loose enough. I mean, looser than your ex-wife. These things are made loose enough that that water comes in, goes down, goes through, and runs on out. And it doesn't really cause that big of an issue unless it happens for a really extended period of time. In this particular instance, everything below us is sealed nice and tight, and that means that nothing is getting down below. So if we get moisture comes in around the window, it goes down and stops and sits. And then you get nice warm air on the inside, nice cool air. There you get condensation. That's where the mold comes from. Now, that being said, that looks like it's pretty bad. It's not really. Believe it or not, I've got a mold allergy, and I can't really smell it. When I walk into a house with mold, and I can smell it, and my allergies act up, and it's bad. But it's not really that bad in here. So it's primarily surface is created by what's underneath. Now you can see here, the window didn't help. The outer pane's cracked. There's, we got a little petri dish going inside there, things like that. So that's not always great. All right, you come in through here. Looks like that's a reason for why we had a roof. And you look up here and you're like, oh my gosh, it's coming apart. Well, no, not really. That's just a seam, and where it is sitting. Remember how we put an extra 4,000 or 5,000 pounds of weight on the roof. That weight has to go somewhere, and unfortunately, right here is where you see it start to separate. It's a shame, but that's what happens. Now, once this thing is sitting level, that a good portion of that should go back together, and you should be able to tape it, and you should be in good shape. In here, we've got laundry room. Nothing in here that's gonna surprise you. Same thing. I got to looking at the walls earlier, and that's when I started seeing the mold and everything a little bit there, and it's not bad. And again, my barometer is my freaking allergy, and it's not. So if I was going to keep this, my wife says no, please don't keep this. But if I was going to, I would cut right along there, and then I would remove that. I'd ventilate everything. I would get the moisture out. From there, I'd put brand new wainscoting up. We've done that in a couple of units recently, and wainscoting looks really, really sharp. See, you got this really nice walk-through kitchen, and kind of visualize some wainscoting going right there, all the way around there. Actually look really, really nice. But for an old house, this thing is pretty structurally solid. You have to work with, undo some of the hillbilly engineering that they did. One of the things to look for is the wood-burning stove. A wood-burning stove inside of a mobile home is always 100% always a bad idea. Always, always, always a bad idea. These things, mobile homes, can be tinder boxes, and having a only moderately controlled open fire inside of a mobile home is just, I mean, it's dumb. I mean, it's amazingly dumb. So these things generate a lot of heat. Heat creates warm space here, cool space on the inside of the wall, moisture that gets trapped. That's all condensation. And so I think a lot of the mold here is as a result of the way these guys did and the way these guys built this, modified this house. This house sat empty for a couple of years. It's just actually sat almost exactly like this. And that's why it's not that bad. The mold's not that bad because they haven't continued to produce more of it. Walk in here, you got a huge master. You see just a little bit more separation in the ceiling. Again, that is not really a thing to be concerned about because once you level the house, put it on blocks, level it, it's going to come back. That is pretty straightforward to fix. That is just a little bit of water that gets in around the exhaust fan on the outside. Again, that's part of why they had the roof. And then you got the same moisture issue coming up. Now, the way I would fix that moisture issue, so remember I talked about the wainscoting that I would do. I'd probably offset that a little bit, and I'd probably leave a little bit of it ventilated. So that way you could get a little bit of moisture in there along the wall, the bottom of the wall, or not moisture, but ventilation. Get air in there. That's what I'd end up doing. And if you did something like that, I mean, this thing would breathe exactly the way they were supposed to. And then for whatever reason, I'm not sure what in the hillbilly hell was going on there, but the shower is out next to the sink. But that is one heck of a tub. I think my ex would even fit in that. It'd be a tight squeeze, but I think she'd fit. All right, moving on. Up here at the very front of the house, a couple more things to look for. You can tell. Let's see if any of the telltale marks of this being a replacement door. I'm fairly certain it is. Oh, hello, Mr. Wasp. Here, we'll just go ahead and close you in right there. Yep, there you go. All right, you have a nice day. Up here in the very front room, kind of more of those issues that we talked about right here. The window got broken. I don't think there's a lot of external mold that's coming in, or mold from external sources. I think it's almost all internal. I think it's all self-induced. And right here, for whatever reason, somebody decided they needed a water tank more than the people who live in this house. So, house needs a water tank. Finally, when you see enough evidence of mice running around here, you would want to make sure you had your HVAC guy out your furnace guy, check every single thing in here. You want an actual licensed professional to check to make sure everything is clean. Nothing's been chewed up by the mice. For whatever reason, mice love electrical lines. This is sitting on propane right now. There's a propane tank right outside. And at any rate, it was, if you move it into like a park or in town or something like that, this would be something we get converted to natural gas. All right. Hey, thank you for watching with me. Things to watch out for is just sit and look. When you walk up to it, stand and look and just take it all in. If the house is substantially similar structurally to the way it was when it left the factory, it'll be relatively straight. A dead giveaway is when you start seeing the siding go down, 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 and then drop. Or if you're looking at the front, you kind of see wavy in the siding. Those are dead giveaways. Let me show you a couple spots to look. Yeah, hang on there. All right, Mr. B. Look, I just want to get by. All right. A couple spots to look. The bees let me pass. Right here underneath the windows, there is extra framing that comes down underneath there. And so if there's any flex, it's usually on the other side of the windows. So you kind of look at the window and go north and south of it on the siding just a little bit. And you can kind of look right here. So right here, you can almost see there's a little bit of a bubble right there. And you can tell that the siding's bowed out just a hair. Back over here on the driver's side, you can look, and then you can see a couple of bows right there where that window is. And what that tells you is that siding is bowed out. All good stuff, all clues. Just stop, look, just take it all in, and start looking and saying, huh, why is it like that? It's always a pretty straightforward explanation. Thank you for stopping by.